Foreign nationals, we need no credit score, no reference letters, or no visa is required for the foreign
Okay,
national.
hold on. This is important because we have requests now for somebody says that she has investors, real estate agent investors from Taiwan. So how investors from Taiwan, what kind of documents this person will need to enable you to get a loan?
So here's my foreign national slide. If you want, we can go in any order.
Go.
Here we go. We have a max loan amount of 3 million. Their credit score is not required. We do not force them to get credit reference letters from their banks or their credit card companies. There's no income needed to be shown. We do if you want to use a DSCR option, we can do a DSCR. We also can do full doc on this if you wanted to. We do qualify off the interest only payment. And we do not, not the PITIA, just the ITIA. No visas required. We allow non-warrantable condo on this. We can do a cash out or a rate and term refinance on foreign nationals. The cash in hand, like our other loans, is unlimited. We allow first-time home buyers. Okay, that's no problem. They do not have to own a home anywhere in the country. We allow them to go up to 4 units. They don't have to have any credit, no minimum trade lines, no limit on the number of financed properties. We could do full doc or DSCR. Those are the 2 doc types that we allow for it. We allow up to 75% loan to value, which is pretty good, actually. A lot of them limit you a lot lower than that, especially for loan sizes. And we do even allow gift funds on a foreign national. Any questions about that?
Yes, I have a question. So basically, when you say you allow full docs or DSCR, but at the same time, you said there is no income requirements.
Or DCS.
Then you would do the DSCR.
Yes.
So you don't have
okay,
to
hold
have
on.
income, but if
So
you
in
do,
other words,
if you have-
basically, since it's investment property, more likely, unless it's owner occupied, but still.
No, it's not be owner occupied.
Okay, so now it has to be investment. So debt service coverage. So basically, what we're talking about, a debt service coverage as a qualification criteria. How much loan is going to be determined is by income this property can generate. Now, let's say the foreigner is buying condominium, non-warrantable or warrantable. And here, we have to show that how much rent it generates. How do you show it? With 1007?
We do it the same way we would do anything else with a 1007. Yeah, any other DSCRs.
Basically, based on rent survey.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll go over the DSCR because it's super important. We've got some huge differentiators there. But so we treat it like any other DSCR. So they do not have to show income, and we would use the rent, the rent survey off of the appraisal to qualify. If you do have a lease, we can use the high and evidence that they've been paying on that lease. We can use the higher of the lease or the rent surveys. And the evidence that we look for is just like a bank account that shows the money coming into it. You might even be able to get that on a purchase, or copies of lease on a purchase. We might even be fine with just that. If you can provide the copy of the lease showing what the tenants are paying, you can also use the lease amount. So if they're buying a property that's already leased out, then that can be done.
And for DSCR, what's your percentage? 1-to-1, 0.75?
On we can go down on a DSCR in general, it can go down to 0.8. On a foreign national, I don't know if there is a further requirement for it to be a 1-to-1 or not. I can check for you if you've got that coming up.
Yeah, that's an important question because this will determine down payment. It's not so much loan to value, but
keep in mind, and then the other keep in mind, you can also choose to go full doc. You do not have to go. You don't have to go DSCR.
No, that's exactly my question was. But how you can establish income if it's a foreigner?
They could provide. There's probably multiple ways that the underwriter can do that. It could be a written VOE from their employer. Lots of different ways.
Okay, this is critical because you see this can increase loan amount and decrease down payment.
Yeah, it can allow them to qualify for more. Yeah. So even if the property doesn't cash flow, I should also mention that the foreign national cannot be used for a primary residence, because this is for people that do not live or work in the United States. They can only use every foreign national program I've ever done. They can only use this for a, usually they can use it. See, it says for financing for second homes, vacation homes, or investment properties. This is not for a foreign national come and move into the United States.
Okay,
And
so let's talk about money. So money has to be, do they need to have bank account in the United States?
I don't know. I don't
So
know.
can you find out?
know.
Because it's, usually the money has to be, either you have bank account.
Hi there. Sorry, this is Todd. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Todd, do we have to have money? How you doing? Todd is my boss. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, Todd,
yeah, hey,
my
guys.
boss.
Hey, how are you guys? I know what we do on that is if it's in a top tier bank, like a tier 1 bank, like let's say it's in a city in Mexico or a city in China, we allow it. We allow it not to come. It doesn't have to come onshore. So it just has to be a reputable bank. If it's not a reputable bank, they can bring it in. They only have to keep it there for the closing, and they can take it right back out. So I've seen it. I've seen both cases with us.
Todd, it clarifies this. What do you mean to bring in and take out?
It would have to be enough. It depends what they're doing, right? If they're covering the closing costs and the down payment, we'd have to show all that. If they're, for example, Robin, I don't know if you've got into it because I don't want to be redundant. Did you get into the gift funds?
She mentioned it, yes.
We mentioned it, yes.
Yeah. So if they're getting gift funds, we would just need to verify it for the closing costs. In that particular case, if they're borrowing it, if they're putting the down payment, we would want to see all that in the bank.
Yeah. So the reason for my question was because it came from one of real estate agents, and I hear this question from another real estate agent, and I even considering to explore this and let I ask Amy, who speaks Chinese and Mandarin, and communicate with them, maybe to put even ad in local press in Taiwan for them to know that this possibility exists. So we'll need to get more information.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can get more information, but like I said, typically it's a tier 1 bank. So what was the bank you had in Taiwan?
I have no idea. It's not yet bank. She started with just talking about potential investors who want to buy condominiums here in California, San Francisco.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Manny, he's saying that like, even if it wasn't in a tier 1 bank, as long as you get the funds before we close into a bank in the US, that's all. We don't have any seasoning.
That's what my point. So basically, money has to be transferred. Obviously, money has to be transferred. So for that, you have to open an account or just some kind of communication. The money has to be moved to the United States. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. If it's in like a regional Taiwanese bank or something, then we would require it to be moved into a U.S. bank. That's correct.
Yeah. Or moved into an international bank, Manny. So, for example, HSBC is both here in the U.S. and they have it in England, right? So if the borrower was in England and they had a regional bank in England, then they can move the money to HSBC, which is an international bank, and then that would be acceptable as well.
Perfect.
Yes.
I think we will develop this as one of the branches of what we are specializing in, because it can help everyone. Okay, next, let's move.
Okay, hey, Manny, I thought that as long as we've got Todd on. Todd, do you want to elaborate on how we would document the income if they did want to go full doc?
I'm sorry, Robin, say that again. I was trying to get my phone off.
If they do want to go full doc, how would we verify their income? What are the options?
You could do if once again, if they have if they're getting paid with a tiered bank, we can use bank statements. We also can use, it's harder if they're doing taxes in China or something. It's harder to go full doc, right? I got to tell you, 90% of our foreign nationals are DSCR. We also, once again, if we can verify it, like Robin said, we can do P&Ls. It's a little more challenging on foreign national, but we have done it. So we would just kind of, I hate to say it, but it's kind of case by case, just knowing what we can verify and what we can't, and you know, making sure like bank statements, if they are offshore, that we can you know, conduct and verify that everything's, you know, valid. That's
Yeah.
all. So it's a little
Okay.
more
Would
challenging.
would we accept a written VOE?
No, we don't do a VOE here. We do
Okay.
P.
Not in the-
Yeah.
Profit and loss. Okay, perfect. I think we have enough initial information, and since I would like to work with you
Okay.
guys on this subject, we will reach out when we have specifics.